We group zero in with all of the other numbers, but its behavior is unique, singular even. This we know to be true, even if we only have a very basic math education. We may see zero as one concept, but it actually does occupy a large number of roles, and it took a long time for the world to see and use zero the way that we use it now. The history of zero is a strange one, and that is what we will be going over in this week's video series. And then we will wrap up the week discussing its spiritual and practical significance. The first historical record of zero is in ancient Babylon. The exact timing is hard to pinpoint, but we're talking around 700 to 2000 BC, so very ancient stuff. Babylonians had adopted a positional numeral system, and the numeral system we use now is also a positional numeral system. So what does that mean? Basically, it's just saying that if we took the number 321, we design the way we write that number such that the placement of each number has meaning. 321, or one ones, two tens, and three hundreds. An example of a non-positional numeral system would be the Roman numerals, where the number 17 would be expressed as XVII, and this is just, well, clearly it's not operating in the same way. So these Babylonians had their numeral system, which was a part of their ancient system of writing known as cuneiform, which was written on clay tablets using pointed reeds. And their understanding of zero was limited. It was not exactly how we view it now. The ancient Babylonians did not understand zero in any arithmetic sense, or even see it as a number in its own right. Their use of zero had to do with the nature of their numeral system. As a positional numeral system, you need a way to express numbers like 1045 or 102. First use of zero was as a placeholder digit in a positionally based numeral system. There needed to be a way to define 102, 100, two ones, but no tens. So they used a placeholder symbol, the same way that we use zero in the number 1045. Their symbol did not look like the little round guy that we use today, however. Their symbol for zero looked like two darts, angled to be pointing down and to the right. This use of zero as a placeholder was also adopted by other ancient civilizations. However, it took a long time for zero to be adopted globally as an arithmetic concept and as a number in its own rights. This was discovered by Indian mathematician Brahmagupta in his work Brahmasphutta Siddhanta. Brahmagupta was born in Rajasthan, India, and released his work in 628 AD. However, it was not until much, much later that the rest of the world was able to understand and recognize the number zero. To an Indian, the use of zero as a mathematical concept was actually quite intuitive. And this was because in India there was a very similar concept in their philosophical and religious traditions. The concept is known as sunyata. It is a concept explored and discussed in Buddhist and Hindu texts and scriptures. The specific meaning of sunyata will differ from doctrine to doctrine, and it has evolved over time as the schools of thought have evolved. Attempted translations of sunyata to English would be words like emptiness, voidness, or nothingness. Sunyata can be used to describe a meditative state, a state that can be achieved when the mind is emptied and one realizes that this world is empty of self or anything pertaining to the self. It can also be used to describe not a state, but more like a fundamental aspect of reality. It is a void and an emptiness that encompasses everything, not in a destructive way that negates aspects of reality, but more like an underlying neutral substance that accentuates and gives birth to more concrete concepts and distinctions. And Brahmagupta, with his understanding of the spiritual concept, was able to define zero as the number we know it to be today. He defined adding by zero, subtracting by it, and multiplying it. Dividing by zero is a murkier subject, but for the other three operations, his definitions are essentially the same as how we define them today. And you can see some intuitive similarities between sunyata, this neutral substance, or this state of emptiness, and zero, the number. Zero's inspiration was spiritual, and many mathematical concepts, especially in earlier human history, stem from spiritual concepts. And zero was more than just a mystical thing, proved to be an incredibly powerful mathematical concept, one that shaped our understanding of the world and caused some controversy along the way. And in tomorrow's video, we will take a look at the next leg of Zero's journey, as it became adopted across the rest of the world. All right, I'll see you then.